Well, happy Sharia Law Day. That's right, July 7th. It's the anniversary of the introduction of Sharia law in Iran in 1980. How's that working out for you? And I ask this question not just of people in the West, but also of Iranians. Because this declaration of Sharia law, to me, reflects Islam's perennial heaven on earth through political coercion problem. The failure to separate church and state theologically has enormous practical consequences. Now, we've lived with this kind of Islamist upheaval for so long that it's easy to forget what an innovation it was when it happened. You think about revolutions in the third world, and you do imagine jihadis. But up to that point, going back into the post-colonial period after World War II, revolutions, even in the Muslim Middle East, tended to be secular and nationalist, modeled in some way or another on the Soviet Union. As curiously did reform movements. You look at the Shah of Iran, who was pro-Western, but he's trying to create a new Iranian human being, and he's carrying out land reform and he's building up industry. He's doing a lot of really progressive things, although he's also got these secret police who aren't very progressive. But Khomeini, using the newfangled audio cassette to smuggle his sermons into Iran, triggers a whole new kind of attempt to break with the recent past and make people happier. But this one is, obviously, it's religiously based and it's coercive. There's no turning the other cheek here. Instead, you're going to drag people, as the communists did in their own way. You're going to drag them in chains into paradise. You're going to make them adopt modesty, and lo and behold, they're going to find they like it. You're going to make them stop listening to music, as Khomeini famously said, there is no fun in Islam, and he went out of his way to prove it. And a lot of people in the West have obviously seen the terrible geopolitical consequences of this kind of thing, whose appetite grows with the eating. It's curious, in fact, that the left has been relatively blind to it. The treatment of women, the treatment of homosexuals in places like Sharia Iran ought to make them much more alarmed than it often seems to. They seem primarily concerned with these phenomena at home. Not to say that we don't worry about our own failings, but good grief, people, open your eyes. But how about for Iranians? And there's a very telling and underappreciated statistics. Iran's population is growing rapidly. It's far larger than Canada's. It's larger than Britain's. But the rate of increase has dropped dramatically. At the time that Sharia was brought in, Iranian women were having an average of more than 6 children each. Now, it's well under 2. That's right, Iran is below replacement rate, what one thinker has called the slamming shut of the Muslim womb. And when people stop having children, they stop regarding life as a great blessing that they just must pass on to express their joy. You can see that Sharia has made people unhappy. It has stifled them. It has given them the sense that life really is not worth living. And you know what? It's not this business about paradise, it's the chains. It's this inability to separate church and state that drags both down into the mire. So, it has now been 36 years since Sharia law was brought in Iran. You know what? If you're into evidence-based decision-making, here's a thought for you. It hasn't worked. It's time to stop, to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. They haven't got the memo yet in Tehran, but I think they have got it by and large amongst the Iranian people.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.